Hi, it's Mr. S, and today's topic is about ratios. Ratio is a comparison of two things. It's like how much one thing is there compared to another thing. Quantity, value, whatever. Alright, so here is the goal and the overview of today's video. The goal is to know what a ratio is and how or when to use it. And the overview of this video are here. I'm going to show examples of ratios using three types of writing. There are three ways to write ratios, and I'll show you that. And then I will talk about rate and proportion briefly, and then I'll share some of the topics related to ratios that the teachers can use in classrooms. Alright, so here is the three ways of writing ratios, and it's right here. First one, write it in words, A to B. A and B are the value or the thing that is being compared, A and B. And you write it A to B in words. Or you can say, it's still said the same A to B, but use a colon in between to represent ratio. Or you can use fractions, A over B, which is same as A to B, and this is also a way to write ratios. So here's an example. We have orange and blue tiles, rectangles, whatever, and over here there are 16 orange tiles and 8 blue tiles. So if I were to write the ratio, it'll be 16 to 8. If I write it in words, if I use a colon, it's 16 colon 8, and or you can say 16 over 8. Now I used orange first. Now if you want the blue first, it'll be 8 to 16, 8 colon 16, 8 over 16. It just depends on which one you use first. Now you can simply write 16 over 8 or the 16 colon 8, 16, 8 as 2 to 1. It's the same way, same ratio, but written in simpler values. Just like you make your fraction easier as possible, right? Right, so here is the rate and proportion. That is a little bit related to ratios. Somewhat, pretty much. Alright, rate is a ratio that's comparing two different things. Two totally different things. Ratio is anything, it's just a comparison of two things. But if it was a rate, it has to be different. So, for example, miles an hour, beats in minutes, dollars an hour, miles in gallons. So miles per hour or miles per hour, miles, that's a distance, hour is a time. Beats in minutes, beats is beat, and minutes is a time. Dollar, that's how the money, and the hour is a time. Miles is the distance, and then gallon is the amount of liquid. On the previous slide, I used orange and blue tiles, so it's different, but you can say it's still a ratio. It's a ratio, but you could say it's a rate because it's different tiles, but I don't know. It's kind of in the gray zone, but this rate, this miles per hour are differently two things that are compared. And then the proportion is an equation. It's an equation. So it has an equal sign and there's a left and right side. That shows two ratios are equal. So for example, 16 over 8 equal 4 over 2. In the previous one, you can say 16 over 8 equals 2 over 1. If you were to write the ratio, a proportion, sorry. Oftentimes, proportion are used in this format where you have to find the unknown number, the x, the y, the a, whatever. 2 over 5 equals how many over 20? You know that the ratio is 2 to 5. Then how much would there be if the other one was 20, Now, I want to introduce a couple of classroom things that you can do, that the teachers can do in the classroom. And here they are. This is not all, but I want to show a couple. And one of them is the golden ratio. I know everyone knows what those are, but maybe the students can investigate where the golden ratio is used, or there are, like in nature, pine cones, spirals. Some people use it in art paintings. There are golden ratios, rectangles, spirals, and Fibonacci sequence. I know there's lots and lots and lots of topics related to golden ratio that the students can actually investigate. Now, next topic is converting ratios. So, like for example, from miles per hour to feet per second or something like that. Cooking and mixing, you have some ingredients when you're cooking, and say you have to mix a flour and water with the ratio of 3:2. Then how much water do you need if you have 200 grams of flour? Things like that. Or you can even ask like students to help your parents prepare a meal and get a recipe and convert it to the amount that you need. That could be some kind of like out of school experience that students can do. TV and screen, or theater screen. If you want to talk about aspect ratios, you can do that in here. Cuisenaire rods, I'll share this later. And then the last one is some different math topics, like since ratio is a comparison, it's a relationship. So you can use, like division or fraction, and also you can draw graphs and tables represent the ratio using graphs and tables, and you can look at the triangles or the slope if you want to. If you have a line, you can think about the slope by looking at a right triangle. So ratios can be used in, or you can say triangles, similar triangles, right? So you can use ratios in different subjects and different topics, from cooking to different math subjects, algebra, geometry, things like that. And I would like to show 3 online resources. One is Golden Ratio, which is, it's right here actually. The Math is Fun website is describing golden ratio in detail, and I will not go deep into it. You can take a look. Even talks about the Kepler triangle, this right triangle coming into play, and usually it's using the phi symbol, phi, the Greek letter phi, when showing golden ratio. And the next one is the mixing paints. I'm gonna pull up the last one too, Cuisenaire rods. And here is the mixing paints. And this is the Enrich Math website. And what's asking is the paint A is made up of red and white with 1:3 ratio. Paint B is made up of 1:7. Now, if you were to make like for example, color, which with the ratio of 1:4, how many of each do you need? That's a very good question. Like, it's a mixing paints question. We have a ratio, and now you're mixing the ratios to make a new ratio. And after, have students investigate, think about how do you get that really quick, or how do you know which one to put, instead of just like trying doing trial and error. Other questions similar, 1:4, 1:9, make a ratio of 1:4. You can change the target ratio if you want to. And this website is pretty cool because as you move the target ratio, you can see the color changing. So it helps you with the goal. And then the last one is the Cuisenaire rods. It's this thing, the rods. And in here, it says, can you use the interactivity below to show that this is true? This 3:2 is true. Or it asks the ratio of these two. Use this interactivity to do it. And other questions like here as well. Yeah. Can you use the interactivity to find the other pairs of single rows with the same ratio as the yellow to pink? You know, something like that. So there are things that the teachers can have students go online or show to the students when doing ratios, instead of just like writing ratios on the paper and converting, not only just converting, but you can do these different things. Alright, so I hope this video was helpful. It's a pretty short video. Please leave a comment and subscribe my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.